Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto, and there is a ton to get through, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of it. So let's start with CZ. CZ is expected to pay about $150 million as a part of the settlement that was approved by the court due to the CFTC charges, and Binance has to pay $2.7 billion. Now, take a step back. Those are crazy high numbers for the company and for CZ as a person, as an individual. They can more than afford it. So I don't think they're going to bat an eyelash. They're not going to be happy to cut those checks. Let's not make it crazy, but they can definitely handle that. And I think it's just going to be a bump in the road with as much money as they're making. I think it's just a bump in the road. But I think they did need to pay fines. I think they did need to be, brought to justice for that. But life goes on. Binance is still here. Their competitors is still here. None of their competitors are complaining about what's going on. So we march forward. What's coming up next? Polygon is actually one of the leaders with regard to inscriptions. Now, I want you to think about this. Polygon is actually able to brag. Our gas fees are low compared to Avalanche's. That's huge because you've been hearing about a lot of projects moving, not a lot, you heard about a couple of projects moving from Polygon over to Avalanche. And that's cool, but this clearly makes a case for those projects not to leave. Crazy high gas prices, right? Polygon has lower gas prices. Just saying, if I'm going to be looking for a platform, I still think Polygon is going to be the connective tissue as we continue marching forward. It's not to say that Avalanche is not also going to be a part of that collective tissue that I keep talking about, but Polygon has already laid the path, and it's cheaper. It's stronger technology, faster technology, and it happens to be cheaper. Just saying. BlackRock. Now, this is a very big deal if you're paying attention to the Bitcoin spot ETF stories, right? BlackRock has revised their proposal to the SEC to allow for cash redemptions because that's something that the SEC wanted. We're about a hair away from things being approved. And if you listen to Mike Novogratz, he's like, yeah, everybody's talking about January 10th. I think it's going to happen before January 10th. I'm sitting back and I'm starting to believe him because there have been major meetings that have happened between the SEC, NASDAQ, and BlackRock, for instance. So I think we are like ridiculously close. Like I said before, there's not going to be an opportunity for the SEC to say no. So the SEC is being smart about it and saying, you know what, we can't say no. We're going to have to say yes. Let's just make sure that we put in the safeguards that we think should be there. Makes sense. Now, take a further step back and really look at this. Why couldn't they do this before when Grayscale asked to move their trust or convert their trust into a spot ETF? A year, two, actually more than 2 years ago. Why couldn't they do it then? Why weren't they thinking like this then? They had to be backed into a corner to actually make that happen. And I point my finger at Gary Gensler. Poor management. Poor management. Being hard to work with for the sake of being hard to work with. This is proof that the SEC is capable of working with blockchain projects for the greater good. I'm just saying, why couldn't you do that from jump? Why couldn't you lay everything out before? Why couldn't you work with these companies before? Because I think these companies are proving to you, hey, we're willing to work with you, but what are the rules? That's where everything is going. Now, Immutable X, in the world of the metaverse, in case you didn't know, I am a principal member of the Metaverse Standards Forum, where we hope to bring cross-border communications and, just interoperability to the metaverse, which is mad cool. So when I heard about Immutable X, or Immutable introducing their Immutable passport for the metaverse, I sat back and I was like, oh, that's cool. That is cool. Because I don't care what anybody tells you. Blockchain is a useful technology. Absolutely, hands down. For adoption, it's going to be gaming. And Immutable is saying, hey, we're going to make this happen. I like that. Solana. Solana surpasses Ethereum with regard to, certain key metrics. But I really want you to pay attention to something. It's really starting to call out the idea that they require more decentralization. That's, I'm looking at Solana, I'm looking at Ethereum, just more decentralization is what I'm seeing. And there are a number of people that are thinking the same way, right? I think they definitely go side by side. I put Polygon in that space as well. But they definitely need, that greater attention to decentralization. It needs to happen further. ARK Invest has dropped, I want to say, another 7.2 million of their shares for Coinbase and Robinhood. Why is that? Well, that's because Coinbase is up like crazy, like what, 104% or something like that. Why wouldn't you take profit? I would. I would absolutely be taking profit, and that's what she's doing. But Cathie Wood is very smart. They're not just taking profit. They're putting that money to work. Remember, they also, with their partner 21 Shares, also have an application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. We should be paying attention to that, right? It's not just about, oh, I'm divesting from, no, she still holds a ton of those shares from Coinbase and Robinhood. However, taking profit and leveraging that money for something else, not a bad idea. Now, talking about Coinbase, Brian Armstrong has completely lashed out at Senator Warren and other lawmakers over their negative stance on crypto. And I agree. I absolutely agree. I think a lot of these lawmakers are clueless when it comes to the technology. I think they're clueless in terms of what the actual use cases can be, right? And they're bringing, I'm not going to say unjustified, I'd say unwarranted, right, ire against the cryptoverse. And I think that needs to change. I think they should each get educated in that space. Senator Warren's been hanging out with Gary Gensler too much, and I'm sitting back and I'm really cracking up about it because this is a guy who used to teach about Bitcoin. And all of a sudden now, because, he didn't get a job at certain companies, now he's mad at crypto. And Warren has taken up that flag. Now she's mad at crypto. Why? Why are you mad at crypto? Crypto can, if you're mad about the current financial institutions, you're mad at Wall Street, you should be looking at crypto in a totally different light. And she's not. So I wonder about how much she actually understands about crypto, about adoption, about how it can actually help people that are underserved by the current financial institutions. Just saying. It's something we should be paying attention to. Now, some really good news about Ripple. I mean, just sit back Ripple has just gotten their virtual asset service provider license from Ireland. Now, it sounds like a small thing, but it's actually huge when you look at Europe. It's a really big deal. And Ripple has been making those kind of macro moves for a while now. And we really should be paying attention to what they're doing, how they're doing it, and how widespread it's become. There's also news out of Japan that they're also working with Ripple for cross-border payments. That's only good news for XRP. So go XRP Army. As well, if you've been paying attention to the burn rate of Shiba Inu, you'd actually know that that price is going up. Believe it shaved a zero a couple of days ago. And we'll get into the numbers in a minute. As a matter of fact, we should do that right now. Give me a sec. There you go. So when I look at everything that's going on in the space right now, we had a Fed governor speak a couple of days ago. What's going on else this week? Let's see. U.S. current account. Yeah, whatever. Existing home sales is going to be a very big number. Consumer confidence is going to be a big number, and that happens today, right? So we should be paying attention to these things in a major fashion. Why? Because it's going to tell you about the U.S. economy. It really is going to tell you, start painting a picture about the U.S. economy. There's going to be the revision for the GDP. Let's see. Durable goods orders should happen on Friday. Personal income should come in on Friday. Same thing with PCE index, core PCE. Those are things that tell us a lot about how the economy is and what we could be looking for in the near future. I think 2024 is going to be big, and I think it's only going to be dwarfed by what's going to happen in 2025. So for me, I'm all about dollar cost averaging and getting in on crypto while I can. Because like I said, I think it's going to be huge. When you're looking at the crypto fear and greed index, you can see that we're about at 74, right? That's pretty high. I think the most recent high has been 75. So we're only a hair off. That means we're deep into greed. DeFi Llama, we're at $68 billion in total value locked. Again, we should be paying attention to a lot of these numbers and everything that's going on. Bitcoin itself still bouncing around, but hovering at $43,130. Again, I told you, we're going to go sideways. And there are going to be opportunities as we continue going sideways to get in. Still, being that we're off, because remember, the high was in 69,000, close to 70,000 range. Being that we're off for right there, this is the time to get in. At least for me. I keep telling my kids, just keep buying on a regular basis. Just keep buying, keep buying, keep buying. This time next year, you're not going to see these prices again. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. And looking at the big board, you can see who's up. Ethereum was at 2,100 yesterday. It's at 2,230 today. 43,171 right now for Bitcoin. Avalanche is at 42. Injective is at $42. Stacks is up significantly. Near is up. There are a lot of things that are up. Doge is at 9.1 cents. You know how I feel about Doge. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan at all. And why is that? I just don't see the use case. But it was the first meme, so it's in the top 10, period. Not going to change. Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to change. There are a couple of things that could happen that could make a change. Ton could come on and make a change. Polygon can make big moves and make a change. Yes, it's in the teens, but trust me, I think that can happen. Major things. H-bar is up. Hedera, that's up. VeChain is up. I love that. TIA, Celestia is up. Not something I hold, but something I am paying attention to. Let's take a look at the big board. If you just want to see the numbers, again, year to date, Bitcoin up 160%, which is almost double what Ethereum is up right now, 86% year to date. But I want you to take a peek at Solana. You should be choking on it right now. Solana's at freaking 683% up year to date. 683% over that. We should be paying attention. Avalanche, 293% year to date. I pay attention to each one of these pieces, right? 1 hour, 24 hour, 7 day, 30 day, 90 day, year to date. Why is that? If you're doing dollar cost averaging, that year to date number means a lot to you. And then whenever you started, that number is going to mean a lot to you. You should be paying attention to all of those numbers so you can kind of figure out, where did I get in? Where have I been getting in? So you can analyze and do your own research. As always, you should always do your own research. Now, if you want to have a little bit more detail in everything that I was speaking about today, all the articles are up on growmybag.tv. This is ADJ on crypto for Grow My Bag TV. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you don't, drop me a note. Tell me how I can do better. Tell me how me and the team can do better. Check out the articles on growmybag.tv. Tell us what we can do that's better. We know we got to work on the images. We're gonna beef up the articles. A lot of the articles are just quick updates on what we're hearing about, what our research is giving us, right? So let us know. Join the conversation as well, because growmybag.tv is a social media platform geared specifically toward investment and business management. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.